Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use this workflow to generate characters based on a single image. So at the top here, you can see I have an input image, and of course you can select any of these images here. Then we'll go through these settings and you will be able to generate the same character in different position or add elements or remove elements. It's going to be the same character. So here I have a compilation of all the images I've generated. So if we focus on this example here, this image here is my input image, and you can see like this one is realistic, and I'm asking for realistic but in different views, and you can see I have these different views. These are individual images, so if you want to create a character sheet with it, you can go ahead and do so, but the workflow itself will give you these images as individual images. Now you also have the ability to make the character do like different poses. So in this case, I have the character sitting. In this one, we have the character sitting, but we have a Pikachu plushie in here. You can also change the style. So these two here, this one and this one, they show how you can change the style. And I'll show you how to do this. At the bottom here, I've taken myself as an example. So this is my input image here, and this is a real photo of me. And I'm asking the model to generate a realistic version of myself, and it replicated it quite well. So this right side here is the generated version, and this left side is the realistic version. So you can see very similar. Of course, once you have this image, you can put it through the workflow and then generate anything that you want with it. So as long as you know how to prompt for it, of course, I'm going to tell you all about it. So here is a 3D render of myself. So you can see here, this is a cartoony style. So something that you would be able to do from Blender. This is a back view of myself, but in a different style. Here's a side profile. This, I believe it's hand-drawn style. I'm sure you get the point. So you can change the view of the character as well as the style of whatever you're trying to get. So these two, we started with an image that is already like realistic. In this case, this one as well. And here's an example of if you don't pass a realistic image to it. So at the top here, we have the photorealistic render of whatever you put. So this small one here is my input image. You can see we don't have a lot of information in the bottom. It's also like a frame. This is from a picture frame. So it's able to generate, as you can see here, this is the front view, the back view of the character. But of course, we can also change the style to this or this one. Now, in the description of this video, you will get a workflow file. When you use it, it will start with this view. So this is basically the ComfyUI graph view. And if you're not aware, you can go to the top here and you can enter app mode. This is in beta, so you'll need to make sure to update your ComfyUI. And then once you get to here, it's very simple to use. On the right side here is where you have all of your inputs. I've already added all of these, and that's all you need to change. So at the top here, you select your input image. If your input image is not here, then you can click on this blank icon and then select your input image. Then you will see here I have subject, style, and then second view. These are prompts, and these top two, basically these two, the subject and the style, will determine your initial input image. So when I'm passing this image here, I'll need a reference image for it to generate these other style, and we need it to be in a front view where we have everything visible. Basically, we cannot start with the back view to generate the front view, is what I'm trying to say. So these two fields at the top is what's going to generate this front view. And let me expand it so you can see in the example prompt I'm using. This is image one, all of that. You don't really need to change this part since the subject will always be like a character or something like that. If you don't have a character, I mean, let's say you have some kind of monster and like a monster anime character type, then you may have changed this to reflect that specific character that you're trying to do. Otherwise, for most of you, you will leave the subject as it is and simply focus on the second part, which is the style. In this specific case, I have a realistic photorealistic cinematic photography, and that's how we go from this input image to this as our front reference image. You can of course change this to be anime, manga, art style, like you can even have watercolor, things like that. And once you have your style here, the second view will give you the second view. So this is what you will keep on changing in order to keep making other views of this this character. So as an example here, we have photorealistic at the top. I still have the same image. I've already generated these two. Let's say I want to have another view of this character. I can go into this section here, and I'm going to say create a side profile of this character, basically this one, and keep the same style. You can click on the run at the bottom here, and you will see this line at the top that will tell you the progress. Now every time you click, and if you don't change the top view, you will see that it's going to give you this reference image again. So the first image that it will generate is always going to be the front reference image. And then you can see here we have I have preview enabled, which is why you can see the preview as it's being generated. But if you don't have preview, don't worry, it's basically going to show up at the bottom. Now for those who cannot use the app view, I will explain the workflow as it is. Okay, so here we go. We have the side profile, and if you want a different view or a different pose, just change this second view one. Okay, so the model I'm using is the FireRed Image edit. I'm using the 1.1. You can use any other version like the FP8, FP16. There's the GGUF version. They work pretty much the same. Then I'm using the 8-step LoRA. That's just to make it fast. I don't see much difference between the 40 steps without the LoRA and this one, which is 8-step. The clip is Quen 2.5 and the VA is the Quen Image VA. All right, so this was just the app mode. Let's exit out, and this should be familiar. This is basically the ComfyUI workflow. We'll start from the left side here, and you will get this note, and it will tell you where to download these models, where to place it, and what are the things that you can do. Basically what I'm saying in the video today is what you will see in that node there. Now same thing, we have subject, style, and then you will see output. This one is great. So let me explain the color code first, and you will see that we have green here, and then we have red, then we have these which are black. This is our output. I've just chosen a color that is not in use right now. We have black here as well, and we have green. So the red ones, these are the model files that you'll need to select, and it's only one. So once you've selected it, Control S to save your workflow, and it will remember the model name. So some of you may have the names different. So if you have the VA in a folder, like a subfolder, you just need to select it from here. Otherwise, it's quite simple. So this is a one-time setting that you'll need to change. Then everything that is in green, so this here as well as this, is what you will be changing every time you run the workflow. So I've already explained subject style. So it's the same thing as in the app mode. Basically here we have this node, and you will type in your prompt in here. So subject, describe the subject, and right now what I have is for a person. So like I said, if your character is not a person, then you will need to modify it. Otherwise, for most of you, you will keep this subject as it is. The style is what you will be changing, and this example workflow, we have a photorealistic. That's what most of you will be generating. So if you are doing photorealistic, you can keep it as it is. Now there's this one which is gray, and this will determine the first image that we get. So you can see here, input image here, first image. This becomes the reference image for any view or pose that you will be doing. So this output controls how you will get this first reference image. I've already set it up here. Gray means it's optional. You don't need to change it. You can leave it as it is, but you can also change it if you know what you're doing. So let's say you have like a mini character, like a chibi character, and you would like to have the full character in view. The character can fit in a square resolution. Then you can modify this to output the full character from top to bottom if that's what you want. Otherwise, the only thing you'll need to change here would be the style and then the image. This here is the input image. Now, once you've generated your first reference image, it will go into this pod, and you see here we have a green node, and this will determine the second, third view that you will like. So this is very flexible. You can do like side profile, back profile. You can do the character standing, sitting, jumping, or flying. Whatever you want to do is what you'll place here. Important thing to note is your starting image. You want your character to be like in focus, and you don't want any distracting background element. So if you are taking a selfie of yourself, make sure you do it next to a wall so that you don't get the background. So make sure your character is in focus. Most of the features are visible, and the background is plain background or a simple white background. Now for the second prompt, you will not be describing the input image. Just make sure what change you want to see. So for example, in this case, I already have my reference here, and I'm just asking to apply the photorealistic cinematic photography, and I have the front view here, and then I'm saying create a side profile of the character, keeping the style the same, and now I have the side profile far. So you can see this tattoo on the face is replicated. So we can see the tattoo here, and in my initial image we have that same tattoo here. Okay, so as long as those features are well defined, it will be able to replicate it. As a reminder, I have a 12GB VRAM card and I'm pairing it with 32GB of CPU RAM. If you cannot run the FP8, if you have something lower, you can always switch this node to a GGUF one, and you can use the Q4 or even Q3 or Q2 to generate it. It's going to work the same. Keep in mind that the lower the Q value, the lower the quality will be. All right, so you will have all the links in the description below, the workflow file as well. As a reminder, the app mode here is a beta version, so you will need to update your ComfyUI to the latest version in order to get this. If you don't have the app mode, don't worry, you can still use the workflow as we were doing previously, like so as how ComfyUI works in the graph mode itself. All right, thank you for watching until the very end. Have a nice day. Take care. I will see you next time.